Alright, well, actually, one of my children asked me to do this. I really don't think anybody wants to listen, and nor do I think anybody cares, but as she said, Mom, you had an experience no one else in life has ever had, so you might as well talk about it. Well, that being said, I've had lots of experiences that no one else has ever had, but I will start with the one that she was talking about. Now, in 2017, I was in a car wreck. I was driving a Ford, and we actually got a letter in the mail in November from Ford about them recalling the car, and we needed to take it back for the door locks, which I'd already had the wreck at this point, and Ford said, "Oh, we're sorry, Miss Rogers. Um, the recall really had nothing to do with your car wreck, and we're not going to bother with anything to do with this." And pretty much that was that. However, I would not have been tossed from the car if the door locks had not failed. Now, that being said, we'll go into what happened after the wreck. Okay, so I was thrown from the car. It was a Friday night. I was on my way to a blind draw dart tournament. And the car got hit by another vehicle. I was driving a Ford Focus. I was hit by a 2000 Ford Escalade. And then the whole of both cars was hit by a Lincoln that was trying to turn through the light to avoid the whole of the wreck. Needless to say, all of us went to the hospital. Me, I went to the trauma unit because I was thrown from the car and dragged down the main thoroughfare here where I live, 150 yards. The whole of my face, I'll show you as soon as I get my hair up out of my face where you can see it. But let's see, I gotta think because it's backwards on this camera. Okay, here. So here, if you look, maybe you can't see, but this eye has two scar bands holding this eye in. There's a broken orbital socket under this eye, and there's a nice C scar going from here all the way around. That's where they sewed my face back on. I had 8 broken ribs, some tears in my shoulder, some other instances that happened. My knee was tore up. I had a brain bleed in my brain where there was a nice hit on the back of my head. And, I can't hold my arm up very long because it hurts. But, anyway. So they take me to the trauma unit. There's only one good trauma unit in Memphis, which is the Med, the Regional Medical Center. It's a very good trauma unit. Very, very good. Very worth every public penny put into it. And if someone... Oh, god damn, that hurts my shoulder. And they want to raise taxes right now to pay for it. And I'm all for it because my ex-husband got shot in the head. And they saved his life. My son was born with gastroschisis. They saved his life and sent him to our children's hospital with a complete trauma surgery team. Anyway, needless to say, I have used the trauma unit, and they are very, very good at their jobs. And if they're going to raise our taxes to truly put money into that, I'm all for it. But back to what I was saying. When I woke up, it was Friday, and I believe it was Friday night when I had my accident, and it was Sunday when I woke up. My dad was there, my son was there, my kids were there, my other two daughters were there, my Aunt Cindy was there, my stepmom was there. I don't know if my real mom was there. And the surgeon was like, and anyway, my whole family was telling me, you're going to be okay. You don't look that bad. But no one would give me a mirror. No one would give me a mirror. And the surgeon wheeled me in to the operating room. And he put my eye back in my head. And I had to look up. Because, he's sewing all the stuff around the side of my head. And, so he's sewing, and I'm crying and asking him to please put me to sleep. And he was just, baby, I can't put you back to sleep. Because if I do, you might not wake up. I've been out for a few days, and there's a good chance that, if they put me under anesthesia so he could stitch my face up and put my eye back in, that he could have woke me up, right? And of course, being there for that much time, they had seen my family, my kids, my ex-husband, everybody, hearing the different things and everything, but, so I never think about, like, some of the things that you go through in these type of things, right? You never, like, go, oh, things that happen. My daughter, she was telling me something about what the brain looks like, right? How, the brain, or whatever. And I was like, yeah, no, the brain's like gray. And she's like, how do you know that? And I'm like, yeah, I've seen my brain. And she goes, you've seen your brain? And I was like, yeah, I've seen my brain. She's like, have you seen your brain? I was like, I've, been blessed enough to, like, been able to look up and have seen, the interior of my top of my head. And she goes, huh? And then, I told her, I was like, when they stitched my eye and my head back, I got to see my brain. And she was like, oh my God. And so then, I told her about the whole thing, about seeing what it looked like. And about all this other stuff and this insanity of it all, right? And now, of course, Ford is still, I haven't even bothered because they've got more attorneys than I could ever afford, right? And the other people involved in the wreck, the people driving the Lincoln, they were like calling my husband, or my ex-husband now, the next day, and was like, well, is she gonna sue? Are y'all gonna sue? Is she okay? Blah, 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 blah. And the guy driving the Escalade, actually got someone else to say they were driving the Escalade. Who they got to say they was driving the Escalade was actually the owner of the car lot that the Escalade was in their name. And they reached out and tried to sue me for $4 million. Right? Saying I hit him. Saying I ran the red light. And then they tried to say that they had it on camera that I ran the red light. But then the cops couldn't get the camera to upload to whatever file for them to put in evidence. So the judge never got to see it. My attorneys never got to see it. My insurance company never got to see it. The only person who saw it was the cop that took the statement from the guy that said he drove, and he said he couldn't get it to upload, but he said he saw it. Now, if he saw it, he could have got it to upload. But we already know he didn't see it. Because if he saw it, then my attorney would have saw it. My insurance company would have saw it. The judge would have saw it. I mean, honey, there's 100 ways you can get that camera to upload. Even if it is taking a video on your phone of the camera playing the video of me running the light. But needless to say, here nor there, we let that go, right? So COVID hits. COVID. Fun. Now, I've had to do physical therapy. I've had to be in a wheelchair, a walker. I can't throw darts anymore. My left arm is shit. I can't walk. I've got pins, needles, everything you can think of. I'm 600 peso woman. It's crap. But it is what it is. Still here, still kicking, still alive, whatever. Now, the guy sued me for $4 million, right? COVID hits. So, my attorney's like, well, we can bother to take this in front of the judge, which we're all going to have to do virtually, right? We're going to have to do this over whatever. And we just need to get a hold of Mr. Goodman and have him reach out and do this thing, right? Obviously. Sure, let's do it. Get him on the phone. He doesn't answer my phone calls, or the phone calls from my attorney, not so my phone calls. The phone calls from his attorney didn't answer. Phone calls from the court did not answer. Phone calls from the court clerk did not answer. Phone calls from, and this was like a 3-way phone call from the court stenographer, the judge, and his attorney. Okay? So his $4 million lawsuit went out the window. And they were like, well, my insurance company was like, well, you've got max out $100,000 that we can offer him. He didn't even answer that phone call, right? I mean, here it is. My insurance company's like, we're just going to go ahead and wash it, right? We're just going to pay him the $100,000, which is the limit on your insurance, and close the book. He didn't even answer that phone call, right? So here it is, 3 years later. Is he so afraid of getting caught in his own fucking lie? Now, at this point, I've totally gone agoraphobic. Totally gone agoraphobic, right? I'm taking 40 milligrams of Oxycontin a day just to deal with the pain. I can't go anywhere. I had 2 jobs in that time that I can't hold because I can't stand more than 6 hours. Trying to do anything at work, concentrate on stuff, passing out at my desk. It's a pain meds. I know what it is. But, so this year, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm going to go to detox. And I'm going to go through all this crap for 30 days to get off of all this shit and just try to have a normal life. To get back to somewhere I was, when in reality I can't get back there, right? I mean, there's no getting back there. How do you get back there? You don't. It's not for you to get back there. In reality, what are you going to do there? Huh? Seriously. I know too much now. Like, I can't drive. Where am I going to go? Who's going to put up with me? Not a goddamn soul. Sorry. Don't mean to curse. But, how can I work? I'm scared to drive. And then, even if I could get my license, which I don't know if I can because I can't pass a test with my eye because I have to wear a contact in one of them, you know? And I can't wear the contact because my eye's misshapen. And then I don't have, the orbital socket here is broke. So there's no, if you can see it, my eye doesn't close right? It's like bigger than the other eye. So there's no spot for the contact. It doesn't absorb to the eye right. It doesn't stick on there. And it just doesn't do it, right? So I can't even wear the extra contact with my glasses to see proper. So, yeah, right. Driving's gonna happen for me. And let's talk about side effects. Thanks for all the drugs you've given me. Yeah, I got tardive dyskinesia. Okay, do y'all know what that is? No. You've heard about it. There's commercials. Okay, I shake. I have tremors, right? If I don't take my meds while I shake, they get worse. At some point, they can look like seizures. Okay? So, if you withhold the meds that stop me from tremoring or shaking or jerking, I can go into what looks like a seizure. Now, I'm fully awake and aware, but my body is jerking and convulsing, and my tongue and throat and all that can go the same way as your body does in a seizure. So it's just as dangerous, right? But because medical staff sees me as responsive, they don't treat it as a seizure because they're unaware how to treat TD. Because it's only shakes. I love how people just don't realize what it is and treats it like it doesn't matter. But, it is what it is. But, honestly, it wasn't the first time I tried to get clean. Probably won't be the last. But this will probably not be the last time I decide to rant on something. And if I actually post this, y'all will get an amazing outlook or inlook on who I am. Because it's just a little bit weirder than most people know. But yeah. So y'all have a good day. And tomorrow, or the next day, or maybe even next week, I'll say something else. Goodbye.